30 Veils of Illusion, Intro and Illusion Number 1 by Suzanne Lie. This book should really be entitled, My 30 Veils of Illusion, as I'm sure that each person who journeys inside himself or herself would find their own 30 illusions, or more. Being a basically idealistic person, I found that I built most of my illusions around grand ideals. This manuscript did not begin as a book but as a meditation. At that time, I was a member of a group based in New York, who channeled information from the ascended masters who dwell in the higher planes of reality. The masters had offered to open a special inner temple to aid humanity in freeing itself from the illusions of everyday life. I felt a special call within myself to experience this privilege. Therefore, each night for 30 consecutive nights, I asked to be taken to this inner temple to have one veil removed each evening. The following morning I sat down with pen and paper and asked to be assisted in remembering the previous evening's work. I share this process with you all now so that we can work as one to release our 3D illusion by the close of 2015 and start 2016 with the truth. Even though this book was written in 1986, it still applies to today because when illusion is removed, all that remains is truth. The forest. The forest is green and splendid with many unusual flowers and trees. The weather is weatherless in that it is perfect. I can feel no external temperature. The breeze is gentle and caressing like soft feathers being waved in my midst, yet none of the shrubbery or flowers is moved by it. The moisture seems to come up from the earth. There are no streams or rivers that I can find and there has definitely not been any rain since I have arrived. Yet everything has light dew upon it, even when the suns are high overhead. There is never a total darkness as the 3 moons are very effective illumination. One of the most unusual things is that I have never seen a shadow. Even when the suns are low on the horizon there are no shadows. Also, the beings of this place do not move. They are at one place and then, suddenly, they are at another place. I wish desperately to have someone to share this with, but then perhaps I would not keep this journal. First, I suppose I should explain how I came upon this place. I think I can still remember. In this place time is very different. I cannot possibly guess how long I have been here. The suns have crossed the sky 12 times, but I have no idea if this resembles Earth time. On Earth, a day consists of the sun rising and setting, moon rising and setting. And then the next sunrise comes, and it is the next day. However, here there seems to be no rhythm to the sun's rising or setting. It almost appears that it is happening for me. If I think that it must be time for the suns to set, then, when I look next, the suns have set. But, back to how I came here. As far as I can remember I was meditating on the beach near my home on Earth. The first time I came here was just for a few moments and then, suddenly, I was back on the beach. I so enjoyed the experience that I tried it again. The second time, I stayed here a little longer. By the third time, I was getting confused as to whether I was there and coming here or here and going there. That was when the shift began. I knew I could change my environment, but I did not know which was real and which was imagined. Finally, I became very exhausted with the exercise and lay down somewhere and went to sleep. When I awoke, I was here. I suppose I could go back to the beach if I wanted to badly enough, but I haven't really tried. I have been so enthralled with the sights and sounds of this new place that I have had no desire, as of yet, to leave. It seems as if here all polarities have become one. I am desperately lonely, and yet, simultaneously, very content and at peace. I love this place yet simultaneously hate it. The longer I am here the more I am losing the phenomenon of emotion. I am now realizing that a sense of opposition is necessary for the experience of emotion. Also, I have realized that, at least for me, emotion and desire are interwoven. Perhaps that is why I am still here. I want to be here, but I also don't want to be here. As my emotions are reaching a balance, so are my desires. Therefore, I cannot guess if I will stay or leave this place. With emotion and desire gradually leaving my life, I have no sense of what will replace them. Perhaps, in this place, a replacement is not necessary. Many things are not necessary here since there is no separation. As I watch a flower and put my attention on it, I suddenly become the flower. However, I am still simultaneously myself. Myself? What is that now? Before, myself was what I felt or what I wanted, or what I thought. Now there's little distinction between these three aspects. As I think, I am, so there is no desire as there is no separation from wanting and having. With no separation there is no possession and, therefore, no possessor and no need to be possessed. On earth there was a strong distinction between thoughts and feelings, but here they are one. On earth I could think about my emotions or think to hide my emotions, or I could have an emotion about a thought. Often, if I were very emotional, I would be unable to think at all. Here, I am losing that distinction. Also, I feel I am losing the ability to communicate in this fashion, to separate each thought into a word and put the words in a line. I feel I must write this quickly while I still remember this mode of communication. As I said before, here one communicates by communing. There is a small flying creature here, but, as I said before, the creatures do not move. Therefore, by flying I mean the creature lives in the air. If I want to know how it feels to live in the air or speak to this creature, I simply put my attention on it. Then we are one. It is difficult to explain how this happens. I am still standing on the ground watching the creature, but I am also in the air watching myself. It is somewhat like an earth dream where I am a participant and an observer. Just as the creatures do not move here, neither do I simply am here, and then I am there. But it is different from being here or there on earth, as there are no real boundaries here. I see a form around me, but I am not limited by it. I suppose I could change forms, but I am still clinging to my earth body. I am comfortable with it and will need it if I desire to return. Desire, I'm not sure what that means now. That word has become very abstract and meaningless. Many things that had such meaning on earth are now unimportant. Food is not necessary here. Nothing seems to eat, including me. I have experienced no hunger or thirst and have not made or eliminated any waste material. In fact, here there is no waste material. There is no decay. Everything is perfect and beautiful, and then, suddenly, it is gone and replaced by something else. There are many flowers and trees, but I have not found one dead leaf or flower. The leaves do not fall on the ground but stay on the trees. The flowers do not grow but appear suddenly full and mature. Then, suddenly, they are gone. There is no need for a home here, as I need no shelter or protection. I also do not need a place to sleep, as I do not sleep here. I have not slept yet and feel no fatigue. My energy is constant and balanced. In fact, all is balanced. There is a room for everything, and yet there is infinite space, and there is a sense of total intimacy with the world, yet, simultaneously, a sense of complete isolation. The beings I have met so far are not at all like me. I mean, they appear more like animals and plants. I have not yet experienced a being that feels like a human. My earth vocabulary is very inept to explain these phenomena. I don't know what a human-like being would be here, yet somehow I know I have not met one. Perhaps it is time now to meet one. Again, the language of earth is incomplete here. I cannot say it is time to meet someone. Here, there is no time, and one cannot meet another, as we are all one. As I say these words, I am beginning to experience someone inside me, yet outside of me, that feels human. I wish it would take on a body. It is too difficult for me to understand a being without a body. Oh, hello, are you a human being? I ask. The being laughs. At first I am hurt just for a moment, then the emotion disappears. I can no longer hold on to emotions, they come now more as a memory than an experience. My name, I think, is J, I say. Here we have no names, it replies, but we will make one so that you can be more comfortable. How do you feel about Ra? It asks telepathically. It is nice, I say, still using my voice. You know, it says, here you need not strain your vehicle by producing those sounds. We know what you wish to communicate with us. I have so many questions to ask you. Do you mind? Of course not, that is why we are here. First, I ask now telepathically, why do I feel more of a separation from you than from the other creatures with whom I commune? Oh, the answer is because you asked for it. When we first communicated with you, we were communing, but you still needed the separation. That is true, I reply. I felt very unusual when you first came. Why do I not feel the need to be separate from the others yet need to feel separate from you? My, you do have many questions. You need to learn that here you also have the answers. This idea is very foreign to me. I mean, on Earth I knew I had an intuition, and I was told I could find my own answers, however, I didn't really believe it. I was constantly reading and studying and finding the answers. Even when I would meditate, or pray, it was to someone else. I now vaguely remember one meditation I had on another beach where I was told to pray, not to God, but to my higher self. But even a higher self was separate from my earth body. As I realized I knew the answers and I forgot all the questions I was going to ask and merely said, "Would you show me around? Where would you like to go? As you know, there is no movement here, so we can give you a tour as one would on Earth. Well then, perhaps you can show me what people do here." Again it laughs. Here we don't do, we are. But we think we know what you mean. In an instant we are in a huge cave. I can feel the energy of many beings but can only see patterns swirling about the room. What are they doing? I ask. They are communing. These beings are learning what you will soon learn. What is that? I ask anxiously, pointing to the swirling energy. So many questions. The answers will become evident as you are ready to experience them. I look around the cave and see the many different energy forms moving about. I wonder if they have bodies or if that is all there is of them. I feel their humanness although they are not human. There is, however, something about them that makes me realize that I am one of them. I ask my guide what I am to do next and it says, join them. How can I do that? I can barely see them. Barely is good enough, it answers. Just go forward and listen with your heart, they will know you and tell you what to do. I then walk forward, or rather am drawn, to the center of their group. Suddenly I know I am to follow a small light to some destination. As I follow the light I find myself moving, for the first time, down the hall. The small light gets brighter and brighter as I move. I begin to realize that the light is a being. As I realize this it moves forward to greet me. I then feel the most euphoric feeling I can ever remember. I am the being and it is I. Come, I hear a voice say within myself and without. There is something that you will need to know. As the light and I move to the end of the hall, we enter a large room filled with many other specks of light. Some of these lights appear to have vague bodies around them and others do not. I now notice that my body is much lighter than before and that it has taken on a translucent quality. I search within and around me to determine the core of this light being so that I can ask about my body, when I suddenly hear a very loving answer, "Yes, my dear, your body has changed. It has taken on a very high vibratory rate and, therefore, does not appear as dense as before. Do not worry. Many answers will come if you are willing to listen before you ask. This room," it continues, "is filled with beings like yourself who have come to learn about truth. The radiant light being who is now speaking is a member of the higher dimensions and is called Lady Leto. Listen now and you shall hear." I position myself at the back of the room where I can hear a pure, lilting inner voice that I somehow know is radiating from the being, Lady Leto. I know that she is speaking to all of us who are gathered here, but, at the same time, she is speaking to each of us in a deeply intimate and personal manner. I hear her voice inside of me as well as in the distance. Beloved ones, I, Lady Leto, address you with a love that is free of all illusion. I am joyous that you have found your way here to participate in this process of releasing and protecting yourself from illusion. But, before you can do so, you must first understand what an illusion is. An illusion is like a cocoon that you create around and within yourself while you are growing your wings and learning how to fly. How do you create these illusions? Some illusions were learned from your authority figures when you were a child, and others you created yourself from your fear of the unknown. When you are in a situation that you are unsure you can face, you create an overlay of something that you believe is easier to deal with. This process begins with insecurity in your ability to stand strong in any situation. You then desire the situation to be a certain way, a way in which you feel more comfortable. Then that desire progresses into an expectation. The expectation then directs your perception. There are always myriad possibilities in any situation, and you will perceive that which you desire and expect to experience. If you go for a walk in the woods and you desire and expect to see birds, you will unconsciously search them out and put your attention on them. If you desire and expect to see litter, you will search it out and see mainly that. The truth is that both the birds and the litter coexist, and you choose your reality by your desires, expectations, and consequent perceptions. You may ask, why would someone desire to see litter while walking in the woods or desire any negative experience? The answer is, habit. You have learned to feel safe with what is known and unsafe with what is unknown. If you have grown up with negativity in your environment, you have learned to feel safe in it. It is all you know, and therefore you expect negativity because you desire the known rather than the unknown. You may believe that illusion is a problem that you have incorrectly identifying your outer world. This is true, of course, but illusions about the world around you are merely reflections of illusions that you build within yourself from your opinions, fears, insecurities, and attachments. These inner impurities were created by your past environment and project a reality that seems as if it were something else. You create this as if reality because it is from your known and therefore feels safer. Then you view life from this apparent reality and make decisions according to that viewpoint and not according to the viewpoint of a peaceful, illumined mind and a loving heart. If you can go inside yourself to address and heal these impurities, you can regain your inherent memory of the truth. This truth can provide a safety beyond any illusion, for it is projected from your higher self rather than from the fears and traumas of your childhood and ego. At our etheric focus over Delos, we are working closely with the forces of truth and understanding of Lady Pallas Athena, the goddess of truth. Master Hilarion, the Showan of the fifth ray of truth and healing. And the great sun god, Apollo. In actuality, our council is a branch of the Lodge of Brothers and Sisters of the Golden Robe. Allow me to explain how we can assist you in understanding how to release and protect yourself from illusion. The process of becoming a full God being involves the subtle lessons of balancing the feminine and masculine nature of God in breath, out breath. Yin, yang. Assimilation, radiation. Love, power. This balancing of inner feminine and outer masculine realities can best be achieved when you are able to be conscious of both of these aspects of yourselves. Once you have become aware of both portions of yourself, you can then learn to balance them in both your waking masculine and sleeping feminine life. The more conscious you become of learning these lessons of balance of personal energy, the sooner will your spiritual selves be able to master the mind. This learning of balance flourishes all the more when enough purification of the inner nature has occurred to remove learned and self-created illusion. Two important gifts have been granted to mankind to speed this evolutionary process. The first is the conscious connection of mankind to the ascended masters, such as us. These masters have trod the path of evolution through many earth embodiments, and are therefore able to understand and assist each of you in your inner journey to mastery. The second gift is that of the violet fire of transmutation. This violet fire is an inner activity, which is available to any direct call to set energy free within all experiences. The violet fire is a spiritual force of very high vibration. All imperfection that is encompassed within this light shall be released to the original source to be purified and later redistributed into the universe. All that survives the violet fire is assured to be only of the highest vibratory rate and therefore divine truth and perfection. With this tool of transmutation, you can quickly separate truth from illusion. You may summon the use of this fire by the affirmation: blaze, blaze, blaze the violet fire, transmuting all shadow into light, light, light. The sisters and brothers of Delos will assist you in the process of balancing your inner and outer lives by removing one veil of illusion from your inner consciousness for 30 consecutive days. With the removal of each veil they will gently reveal to you the truth and understanding of each of these illusions. Think of it, 30 veils of illusion lifted from your inner nature to clear your spiritual awareness. You will receive a major lesson each day. On the 31st day, we shall present ourselves at the elemental harvest celebration, where the elements that make up your own inner vehicle may present their gifts of heightened progress and purity to the Lord of the world. Each day, this ceremony of purification will begin by your being led into a circle of white light where 2 sisters from my focus of truth, nearly formless in their pink radiance, will help you to release each veil from your inner world. Then 2 brothers outside of the circle will further assist you. The brother from Hilarion's focus shall project the truth concerning each veil that is necessary for your progress. Then the brother from Apollo's focus shall assist you in manifesting the power of understanding of this truth in your outer mind. I will further aid you in remembering this inner ceremony in your outer consciousness. Pay attention to the lessons learned this month. Use the violet fire to set free all shadow so that nothing can distract you from this service to your life. Enfolding you like a mother protecting her child from danger, I shall stand guard over your spiritual development so that you will feel safe. I shall not rest until each of you are free in the reality of eternal peace within the I Am consciousness. As the great lady finishes her inspirational speech, I feel a ripple of love and unity throughout the group. I search again for my guide to ask what I am to do when I hear from within. Yes, my dear, you have been invited to participate in the ceremony. However, you must be willing to return to Earth between each lesson so that you can ground it in your physical garment. Are you willing to do so? Well, I say slowly, I can say I'm anxious to return to that land of boxes, but I do feel very inspired by the words of Lady Leto. I suppose if I can learn to truly understand what she said, my life there will be much happier. Is that a yes, my one? Yes, I say, that is a yes. And I hope I am not sorry. Remember, my dear, she kindly replies that any effort put into the advancement of your soul shall be forever a portion of your being. When you go to sleep each night, call to us and we shall see that you return here. Must I leave now? I ask. But, even as I speak, I feel the room fading about me as I begin to feel heavier and heavier veil when the illusion of time is money. Oh my, I am back. As I was leaving I was afraid I would not return, but I'm here now. However, I don't know where I was before. I know my guide said I was to return to Earth, but I don't remember anything else. Hello, my one. I hear the familiar voice of my guide. I know that many do not use names here. I say, but if I had a name to call you it would help me. Why, of course. You may call me Lady Astrea. I have been assigned to answer your call and I will remain as your guide as long as you need me, she answers. I had always felt her as very feminine, but it is difficult to determine one's polarity and sex without a visible body. It is your turn to enter the circle now. Please, follow me, she asks, as if I could deny her request. Since she is within me as much as outside of me, I don't know how I could resist following her even if I wanted to. We move through another hallway and I feel my body, what there is of it, grow lighter and lighter as we move towards a golden door at the end of the hall. In the future you shall arrive at the other side of the door. But for the first time, you will need to arrive here so that you can adjust yourself gradually to this higher vibration. Take a slow deep breath now and prepare yourself before the door opens, for on the other side the vibration is very high. I do as she says, and as the door opens I feel as if a huge fire is beginning to flame before me. I shield my eyes and cling to the walls of the hall. Because I am losing all sense of direction, I no longer know what is up or down or whether I am standing, sitting or lying down. For the first time in this place, I feel discomfort. I experience an intense buzzing in my ears and a profound sense of dizziness and nausea. I can see nothing and can hear only the buzzing. I feel as if I am on fire from within. I am frozen to the spot at the same time that I feel as though I am moving at the speed of light. I can't think, or talk, or even feel. Why am I here? What have I committed myself to? Surely this is death. No, my love, you will not die. Only the parts of you that are unwilling to change will die, because here a commitment made is a commitment lived. Any portion of you that is unable to continue will mercifully be released. Do not resist this process. Instead, hold on to that which remains and trust. Most of all, my one, trust. At first I am surprised that I can hear her words over the intense buzzing, but as I listen, it gives me something to hold on to, and I begin to find comfort in this new way of being. However, I still cannot speak and would not know what to say if I could. Therefore, I am blindly following her, still being able to see very little in this brilliant light. Into the center of the room we move, where the light is even stronger, and there appears to be a circle formed of this light. I follow my guide, hearing dimly over the eternal buzzing, trust. Above all, you must trust. As I step into the circle, I find I am alone, totally and completely alone. However, this aloneness does not cause the old familiar fear, but rather, it commands a deep and complete stillness. Stillness beyond anything I can ever remember experiencing. Suddenly, two beautiful ladies dressed in a pink radiance appear from somewhere within the circle and move towards me. They gently remove an unseen veil from my face. They move to the periphery of the circle, and I hear the voice of Lady Leto saying, "Beloved, the first veil is the illusion of time as money. Time and money are both important only on the third-dimensional earth and are, therefore, great foundations for illusion. Neither has any value to your inner world. The formula for this illusion is based on the belief that one must have money to survive. It takes time to make money, therefore, only so much time can be expended on inner work as time must be spent on making money for survival." The brother from Hilarian's temple then takes the veil, and as he does so I hear a familiar voice saying, "The truth, of course, my one, is that time, as you know it on earth, and money exist only on the third dimension. Time is an alignment of thoughts and actions, which is necessary to motivate one while on earth. In effect, time is a mode of transportation whereby one could move throughout one's earth classes. Money is a bartered exchange which represents value and, therefore, success on earth. In the oneness of the fifth dimension, no exchange or reward is necessary because all live in unity. We do not experience the feeling of separation that is so pronounced on earth, so we have no need to form these symbols of exchange and reward. When there is unity of heart and mind, there is no greater reward, and nothing is requested in exchange for unconditional love. Please, I add quickly, suddenly finding my voice, may I ask why it is that your voice feels so familiar to me? Why, yes, comes the answer, I am Hilarion. I have spoken with you many times in answer to your inner call. I am pleased you have come to the ceremony, and I will gladly answer any questions you have. Hilarion then gives the veil of illusion to the brother from the retreat of mighty Apollo, who releases this veil back to the first cause to be transmuted into pure light. Allow me to introduce you to Apollo himself, says Hilarion. He will assist you in understanding each veil of illusion as it is removed. Good morning, one. I am glad to make your acquaintance. Our energies have not connected before today. I am glad you have called upon the understanding of the one. Time is money, is a lovely earth illusion, one that is especially prevalent in the Western world. It is also an illusion that is particular to the third dimension. Upon the fourth dimension, there is still time, but it is different than on the third dimension. What could be years upon the physical plane would be minutes upon the astral plane. The astral plane is another name for the fourth dimension, just as the physical plane is another name for the third dimension. Within the time era in which your physical form lives, there is a wonderful moment of transition occurring. The third dimension is collapsing into the fourth dimension. Think now of a collapsible travel cup where the smallest portion of the cup is at the bottom. Therefore, the bottom of the cup collapses into the portion of the cup just above it, which is a bit larger. Much like the travel cup, the third dimension will collapse into the fourth dimension. Nothing will cease to exist. However, a new vibration will surround the third dimension. Within the reality of the third dimension, time is money for the reasons stated above. However, in the fourth dimension, The passage of time is dependent upon one's activity. Time is most enjoyable and passes most rapidly and easily when one is enjoying an artistic endeavor. Therefore, upon the fourth dimension, time is art. Allow yourself to feel the enjoyment of artistic activity in whatever form you wish. Remember, no matter how much money one has, one cannot buy time. Therefore, spend your time wisely and with joy. As the scene dims before me, I realize I am returning to Earth. The last words I remember before losing consciousness are something about not having time for myself, as I put so much of my attention on other people's lives instead of my own. Q&A on time is money. Sue, since I spend most of my life charging by the hour or by the patient when I was an audiologist, time is money was my reality. Of course there was a great deal of time in which I was driving around Los Angeles, which takes a lot of time, preparing and billing. Then, when I began my site in 1993, I wrote and posted for decades with no money and, in fact, had to pay others to assist me. No, I never would have paid others to assist me with audiology, as that was not my heart space. On the other hand, listening to and follow the directive of the Arcturians to write a website was my total heart space. Therefore, it was then that I learned that if I did what I loved, the illusion of time as money was transmuted into time to do what I love. What is your experience of the illusion of time as money, and how did you or how do you wish to transmute that illusion? Thank you for your responses. Let's prepare for 2016 by Transmuting Illusion into Truth.